What up, what up, what up?
Hey, ho, hey,
Ho, hip-hopper.
hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip, hooray,
Hip, hip.
hooray, hip, hip.
Hooray.
There you go. What's up, TJ?
Hey.
We're back at it.
Welcome back to Cleveland Rocks. That's a new thing we're working on.
America's favorite podcast.
America's favorite Drew Carey show podcast.
That is true. We have the empirical data to prove it.
We are truly the only one out there.
I think so.
We might be. Listen, if you are another Drew Carey show podcast, write in.
Yeah, write in, and we will fight you to the death.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll pick a time and a place.
I would honestly duel someone.
Yeah. If somebody else thought they had a better Drew Carey show podcast,
Yeah,
I would duel them.
I would duel them for sure.
Why not?
What would be your weapon of choice in a duel?
Any duel?
You get one weapon. You just a bayonet.
Yeah. Well, what's the?
Well, you got to put the where are you putting the bayonet on? Isn't a bayonet just like an attachment for a
rifle? I thought the bayonet was the thing that went on the rifle.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But you're only getting a bayonet.
No, I want the rifle with the bayonet. Isn't that the whole kit and caboodle?
That's two.
Oh, no, bullshit. That's
two.
all one.
I'm counting that as two.
No,
you can't just go bayonet.
I'm going to Google this real quick. I disagree with
Then you want a rifle is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bayonne. No, N-E-T-T-E.
I think I'll go with like a Bart Simpson's slingshot.
I like that. You're gonna David and Goliath them.
Yeah. Or a baseball bat with spikes.
That's always a classic.
That's a classic.
Yeah. You think you could yeah, I'm sure you could just fuck somebody up with just a baseball bat.
No, if
push came to shove,
absolutely not.
I
would never do that. I have never done that.
Yeah, that's important.
I've absolutely never fucked anyone up with a baseball bat.
There you go. That's good.
So
if anyone says otherwise, write in and we'll duel them. We just watched 2 episodes of the Drew Carey show.
We're running it back, guys.
Yeah.
We're coming to you live on a Tuesday afternoon again.
Another Tuesday afternoon. It almost feels like the same Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's crazy. 2 episodes. I liked one. I did not like another one. I don't know how you felt about these episodes.
Yeah. I didn't, and I gotta be honest, it kind of surprises me which one I didn't like.
Oh, interesting. Do you think we'll disagree on this?
We might.
Okay. Well, I feel like maybe just get into it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
I did not like the episode 13.
The first one we're doing.
The first one.
Oh, I enjoyed this one.
And I thought the second one was funnier.
I disagree. I think I like the first one more. But I am also impartial to the
it's just David Cross.
Right, but here's my
all
thing.
You
so
like.
David Cross is the guest. I was going to say this is a special guest. It's not like a cameo. There's no applause break. He's just a guy at this point, you know? I do like David Cross, though, and I like the weird comedy stylings he brings to this.
Yeah, but I just felt like it anticlimactic the way it ended, and it ended exactly how you thought it would.
Oh, sure. Well, let's not jump the gun on this. You'll know why that was funny by the end of this discussion. Episode 13. It's called Drew and the Unstable Element. I think it is one of the last. I was looking ahead at the other episode titles because as we're now obsessed with them, I think it's one of the last science-y episode titles.
I guess it's not.
Unstable element.
Element is sciencey, a sciencey word.
So we start off with a cold open. It's carpool. They're all carpools. It's Drew.
It's karaoke.
It's Carey.
It's karaoke, and there's a fat British man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, never mind.
No,
keep going.
Sorry. It's a carpool. Kate's there, and we've got Drew driving this time. I believe he's doing the carpool. And the only other person we see, some people in the back, the only other person that really stands out is this gentleman to the left of screen, played by David Cross. We don't know his name, but he's like a weirdo. Kate's got a fruit roll-up. He's trying to lick it.
Yeah, let it be known the fruit roll-up was Drew's lunch.
Yeah, so Kate's going through Drew's lunch. And then my favorite gag is he's got headphones on. He's got headphones on. He's jamming out while he's also trying to sniff and lick this fruit roll-up. And Drew's like, oh, Kate's very disturbed by this man. And Drew's like, oh, you don't got to worry about that. He's just going to be. Don't sweat it. He's just jamming out. What's he listening to? And she pulls up his tape, and apparently the tape reads James Earl Jones reads Schindler's List.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. That's fun.
good.
And then Drew looks at him differently, and then he goes, "Oh, well, don't even worry. The headphones aren't plugged in." So he's just a complete nut.
He's just a nut job.
We
He's
established
playing
him
air
from the front.
guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's nothing more to him at this point. You're
No.
just like, oh, here's just a weirdo. Honestly, they've introduced so many weirdos in The Office.
Yeah.
In
It's
all the
unsurprising.
other carpools.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh,
He doesn't even phase you.
if I didn't know it was David Cross, it would be nothing
Interesting.
to me. You know, because it's like a decent, name in comedy.
Sure.
Or at least
Though I
like
did, I mean, at the time, if this came out in like 96, it's around the same time Mr. Show started. So David Cross really is kind of just a guy at this point.
I guess it's just like you can tell he's not a character actor like the rest of them.
Correct. I'd say
Yeah.
that's fair. He's not Tobias Funk. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Then we go to the first main scene, which is at Drew's house. I thought you would enjoy this too. They're playing pool in the back on the coldest day of the year.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
They would. But did you catch what temperature it was?
I did not. Did they give a temperature?
I felt like they said 30 degrees.
It gets colder in Cleveland.
And I'm like, that's
You're on the
not
water.
even that cool. Yeah, you get all the lake
Yeah.
wind.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
it was 30 degrees.
I could have swore they said 30 degrees, but it's not worth replaying. But either way, they did say it was the coldest day of the year.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Also, is it at this point like the new year? All the Christmas shit's gone.
It's something like that. It's still winter, but
Yeah.
I think we're past the holidays. Though we do get a Reindeer Games quote from Kate in this because Jay's joining in on the pool.
yeah.
They're heating up their
They're going
gloves.
out one at a time.
They're going out one at a time because it's that cold. They're heating up their gloves in the oven
Yeah.
to keep warm while they're out there playing pool so they can feel their fingers. Yeah, Drew talks about how he has to finish employee evaluations, which is where we bring the David Cross character back in.
Yes.
Because Kate has some thoughts on Earl.
Believe it or
whatever
not,
his name is.
Kate has thoughts.
Kate
she
has
has
thoughts.
opinions.
She's got so many. She really does. They're just bopping around.
She does not like David because she thinks, well, what's Earl?
Earl.
She does not like Earl because she thinks Earl is creepy and
He's
staring at
He's
her.
staring at her,
All
and
day.
he's calling himself the store manager.
Right.
Drew kind of laughs it off and goes, "Oh, maybe he's, just saying positive affirmations, or maybe you're staring at him, because
then-
that's how you're noticing it."
Kate gives him the play-by-play,
Yeah.
minute by minute.
She's got all the details. She's got when she's freaked out, and she's got the receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing like lunges and staring at her. Yeah. I mean, reasonable to get a little worried about
Absolutely.
that one.
Absolutely. And I mean, as we've already seen in the carpool, he's a little unhinged.
Yeah.
So anyway, Drew decides he has to sort of confront him, or at least see if what Kate's saying is true.
Yeah.
He goes down to the department store floor to go chat with him. Before then, we get a little Mimi interaction that I thought was
Oh,
fun.
I love it. Yeah.
She's shopping for a tie for a lover, and we learn the lover is Antonio Banderas. She's apparently started a letter writing.
Yeah,
romance
she has a
with him.
pen pal relationship with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, as you do in the 90s, you just write letters to attractive, famous actors.
Well, and then Drew mocks it, and then she's like, "It's much more believable than your relationship with Sarah Lee, which is the cake
Yeah,
company."
the bread people, the people that make. Yeah.
And Drew was like, "Hey, that was a good idea. Cake you can eat in the shower.
How would the physics of waterproof cake?
Waterproof cake.
Because cake is made with water,
yeah.
right?
Will that matter?
I mean, wouldn't
I mean, look, it's not going to work. But
no, I know.
I think
I'm just
that,
saying, how would you make cake without? How would you make a waterproof cake?
Well, what if you got? They have that. What is it? Fondant.
Yeah.
Is that I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah, I believe the icing that
I
you
haven't
can print
watched
stuff
Cake
on.
Boss in
I think,
years,
right?
but
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah,
the thick icing layer.
Yeah.
If you had enough of that around it,
Yeah.
perhaps you could, but then you still can't get the interior wet.
Right. Which is kind of a crucial element for making cake.
No. Well, sure, but as long as you can avoid getting the center wet and you eat, I feel like the fondant can get wet.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So you make the cake with the water, and then
You put
waterproof
the,
it with
you
the
put
fondant.
the fondant around it, if you are the cake boss listening to this, please go ahead
Is the
and.
cake boss in jail? Didn't he get arrested?
I
I thought he got arrested. I
No
thought he got
way.
arrested, and
Really?
the line he said when he was
He's
getting
still
arrested.
got so many fucking. You can go to his place in Hoboken.
Sure. Well,
Or
you know,
they got one.
a
at
lot of
Port
criminals have
Authority.
stores in Hoboken. I bet.
Yeah.
It's a mafia city. No, I thought he got arrested, and the famous thing was
What,
the
his
line.
is his name Carlos? Yeah.
I don't know that, but I thought
It's
the line he
Carlos.
said when he was getting arrested was, "You can't arrest me. I'm the cake boss." I thought I remembered that being a story and a quote.
You know what I think the most interesting thing is they have, assuming this Carlos Bakery is the cake boss, they have vending machines
Yeah.
in all the Las Vegas casinos with cake from the cake boss. It's like Buddy, the cake boss, and he's like, "Come buy cake," and it's like a big cake vending machine. It has
Yeah.
like red velvet, rainbow. Straw.
I don't know if I'd like a
the
cake
what-
vending machine. Wouldn't it?
Well, it comes out like
Fall?
you know how they sell sandwiches at 7-Eleven? It's in like that kind of packaging.
Oh, okay.
And then
So it's not really a vending machine in the traditional sense.
well, yes, it is. It still goes and it grabs the cake and then it falls out. No, it is a vending machine. There is a glass plated wall.
Sure. But it kind of it grabs it. It's not going to fall down, and then you got to reach in and grab it.
I didn't order one.
All right. I'm just saying, wouldn't that break the cake? Cake's kind of malleable. It's pretty soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you cover it in fondant and then
Mm.
it's waterproof.
Drew Carey had $1 billion idea.
Yeah. Also, just a quick note back to Earl and Mimi. Mimi actually likes Earl.
Yeah.
Because Earl looks at her like a lady. Apparently, he stares, and
Yeah.
she kind of likes it.
He stares at everybody, apparently.
And she's like, he must be into me. And Drew's like, I don't know. Why do people slow down to see a car wreck? So
She switches her mind on what so we introduce Earl to Drew. Drew stops
yeah,
by.
we actually get to talk to Earl
Mimi
now.
leaves, though, and as she's leaving, she says, "Ooh, gummy bra." And one of my favorite little off jokes is just Earl goes, "Oh, she should wash that." I don't know. I just thought it was very funny. I just thought it was just.
That's
And
good.
nobody else laughed in the audience, and I was like, "Fuck, you guys missed a perfect joke there."
Yeah.
Anyway, Drew checks Earl out. Earl has a weird, frantic energy about him. He's constantly on edge. He doesn't like being watched by other people.
He
doesn't
flipped
like-
out when he touched the ties.
Exactly, and he then started throwing the ties himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great coworker, I would say. Maybe just an unnerving person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. It actually amazes me that he is even employed. That
Well-
the way they were playing the character,
Yeah.
I was like, this
Drew,
man should be in.
And as we said before, though, Drew completely unaware of complaints.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure
What the
Kate
fuck
is not the
does
only one
Drew
who feels
do
like this.
all
What
day?
does Drew do all day, other than just
Do pranks for Mimi
Yeah, he's just putting shit in her drawers or whatever, pouring coffee on
and
her table.
flirt with Lisa?
Yeah.
What the fuck else
We
is
used
Drew
to
doing?
think he was a good boss, and I guess he still
I'm starting
is.
to think
a good
he's bad at
boss.
his job.
I think he's bad at his job. You can be a good boss and be bad at your job, I'd say.
Yeah, I feel like a good boss, if you're like personable and you listen when it counts, you're a good boss.
Yeah.
You don't have to always lead by example.
And also if you're willing to help out your fellow employees.
Yeah.
Like cut people slack or have a human side.
Sure.
That being said, he does not do his job. He's not good at the people skills with regards to like social engineering.
Or just like generally paying attention.
Yeah.
What the fuck does he
Do?
Yeah, he's in charge of personnel.
Yeah, he's the assistant.
Who are the
director of
complaints
personnel.
going to?
Yeah.
Who else?
Though there is a moment we find where, in the same way Kate thinks that Earl is staring at her, Earl thinks Kate is staring at him.
Yeah,
and he doesn't
that's
like
good.
that. So, Drew's basically like, yeah, there's something here. We cut, I believe, next to his house, and they're going through, like,
His paperwork, his
paperwork on
application,
Earl's
something.
and everything. And this is one of my favorite moments for the episode is we find out Drew's like, he passed all the tests, though, the psychological evaluation. It said, have you ever been institutionalized? And he wrote never. And Kate scrutinizes it a little more and looks at it and goes, no, he wrote over. as then flip over the paper. And Drew goes, what? And then he flips over the piece of paper, and there's just a list of different institutions that he's been put into, including Yale University outpatient.
Yes.
For the institution list.
Well, at first they just read Yale. Oh, Yale University.
Oh, yeah. Outpatient. Oh, man. This is the next question. If Drew's bad at his job, does Drew know how to read? Because the word never and over share 3 letters, but N, E, and O are pretty different.
True, but
or do you think he's just a
we got to give him
schizophrenic?
grace on the handwriting.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have awful handwriting.
Right, but I'm not like a crazy person. I guess that's true. Well,
I don't know that. If I'm just if I were to judge you based on your handwriting, I would give it 30% chance you're a crazy person.
I'm a sociopath.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is it
just
that
based
bad?
on handwriting?
Yeah. 30%'s pretty fair. I think most people
that's
probably float around at least 25.
Yeah.
Wow.
You get a bump. You get the handwriting bump.
The handwriting bump gives you 5%. If it's chicken shit, you're more likely to.
It's just when it's a little scribbly.
Yeah.
When the letters blend together. And for some reason it's at a 45-degree angle, and you're like, how? What the fuck?
Hey, I would say it's more childlike than it is like frantic, though.
Yeah.
So it looks maybe like an 8-year-old wrote it instead of a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
I'm defending my handwriting here. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm gonna handwrite something and I'll put it on the Instagram when this episode comes out.
Yeah, you all can judge.
And people can judge my
You will
handwriting.
be the judge. He's going to write over and never.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, they realize they got to get rid of Earl. Earl basically is actually
Earl's got to
to
go. He's actually a psycho, and Drew, being just brilliant at his job, didn't read half of the fucking.
Didn't notice that there was a backside to the employee form. Yeah.
So
he's out. He's got to go. But how does he fire him? Because he can't. There's no real grounds for it. He's technically supposed to send him to the company shrink first, but he doesn't think that's going to play well.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do. So, and then the next scene, there was a bit of a conflict there at the house, and then the next scene, he just fires him.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny you bring that up because they were discussing how he's supposed to handle it, and they were just like, fuck it, he's just going to fire him.
Yeah, I'm just going to fire him.
I'm like, that would be a lawsuit.
But he does it kindly. He figures out a way. So first of all, he brings him in, and he lies and says they're dissolving the tie department. He's like, what was it? French colors are in right now.
Yeah.
It's funny, but stupid thing. And then Earl realizes he's being fired.
Yeah, and Earl very blatantly just threatens to kill him.
Yeah. He says, "I'll murder you." I believe.
Yeah, he's like, "What if?" He's like, "Is there any security up here right now?" And Drew's like, "No, I don't need any security. This is all because Earl at this point is on to the fact that Drew thinks he's crazy." And Drew's like, "No, I don't need anyone." And he's like, Earl leans in and is like, "If I were to I suppose I could just kill you right here now." And then Drew's like, "Actually, he's behind the post." And then our good buddy Chuck, the security guard,
an outsized role in this episode, and a little bit in the next, but mostly in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
And
Chuck, you know what I will say about this, and I respect it? A shorter man as a security guard is pretty funny to me.
Yeah, it is funny how he's very non-threatening. Not only that, he's very sassy.
Yeah.
In like a way that it
reads a little more flamboyant.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does not read tough guy. Whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
I fuck with Chuck though.
I like him. He's quick at least. He does talk. It's all rapid fire coming out of his mouth.
Absolutely.
So
it's good. So we get him out of the way. But on the way out, as Chuck is escorting Earl threatens to, we'll see him later, he says. And then Drew goes, "You don't know where I live." And then he says Drew's full address.
Yeah.
Which puts a little bit of fear of God in Drew.
Yep. You can see where this might be headed.
Mm-hmm. Was that your issue with this?
Yes.
As you kind of saw almost
immediately.
It
was just like, okay, exactly how I felt. Like, I liked Earl as a character.
Yeah.
This just plays out exactly how you think it is. And we'll get more to it at the end.
Right.
But
but first we got to go back to the Warsaw for some reason.
Well, naturally we'd go to the Warsaw.
Well, actually, we're skipping over some big relationship news here.
Oh yeah, we can't. Yeah, the little B plot here.
Very important. It's like a 1 minute B plot. It's one and done.
But yeah, and this confused me.
Mm-hmm.
So Kate
Yes.
Kate asked Jay about being exclusive.
Yes.
And Jay like almost seemed a little hesitant, and then Kate grabs like Jay's ear or something
And pulls it.
until he says yes. I'm confused here because they have been introducing themselves as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right. Yeah, I think
What the
90s,
fuck is that?
The 90s, it was looser, I would say.
Yeah.
Probably. I was an infant when this show was happening, but I would imagine you could have a boyfriend. You could have a lot of boyfriends.
Because to me, I feel like the discussion of exclusivity almost immediately lends itself to the labels.
Yeah. I think
To the
you're right.
extent that I wouldn't ask someone to be my girlfriend, but I would ask them if they want to be exclusive, and thereafter
The implication.
the implication
is
is I'm
that.
going to start calling you my girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here, I guess it's the opposite.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't have a good explanation. I did think about that too.
Judging by Jay's apprehensions, has Jay been fucking around?
How long has Jay had that earring? Has he had that earring since we first met him? I didn't notice it until
Oh yeah, I
we
didn't
saw
notice
it at
that
the
either.
Warsaw.
I don't think he had it when they first had it.
Yeah,
When
I
they
don't
first
hate
met
it.
him.
He's a handsome man.
He
I
is
understand
handsome.
why he would be cautious to be exclusive with a woman.
Yeah. But naturally, okay, so they all sit down. They go through the.
Well,
they're
Drew
all-
shows up, and
Drew
everybody's
shows
like, "Oh,
up.
Drew, I thought you were going home after work."
Yeah, and I guess they stopped by the house. And he stopped by with Oswald and made Oswald wear his hat and coat
And go in
and
and
go
get his
into the
mail.
home,
Yeah.
just in case Earl was hiding in the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
So now everyone's fucking with Drew, pretending that like Earl's right behind you.
People tapping him
Right
on the
behind you.
shoulder.
Yeah,
Everybody
Ryan
put your
pats him and
hands on the
loses it.
table, and Ryan shows up exactly and taps
Yeah.
him.
And then come to find out,
Surprise
Earl is
at the Warsaw
and I honestly
in a big, obvious trench coat and hat. Like as if like the most likely murderer you've ever met in your life.
And honestly, I can't even blame him because as we've established, this is the only place to go.
Yeah.
He might not, I'll give him some grace here, he might not even have been stalking Drew.
Right.
He might have just wanted a beer, and this is the one place to get a beer.
It's the only bar in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Earl says there's too many people here when him and Drew confront. And then
Just
he
like-
awkwardly leaves walking backwards.
Yeah.
I think he misses the stairs that are supposed to be the entrance, and he leaves through some weird
Yeah.
back area.
So,
We go then back to Drew's.
mm-hmm.
And the whole gang is there. They're searching up.
They're searching the
down.
house.
They're
They're
searching
all-
the
they all
bathrooms,
have
the
weapons.
bedrooms. Yeah, they're all ready. They find Mr. Bubbles, which just like the bubble bath.
Yeah.
Is that they're
Drew-
all giving Drew a bunch
Drew
of shit.
likes, yeah, because Drew
what the
likes a bubble bath.
What's wrong with having liking a bubble bath?
I got no problems with a grown man liking a bubble.
No.
A bachelor liking a bubble bath.
Yeah, it's his house. Goddammit.
I think a lot of people, that's just the '90s culture. I think we've normalized it now.
Yeah.
I think men can take bubble baths now.
Did they have?
We don't talk about it, but I think they can.
Did they have bath bombs in the 90s? Was that like a thing?
I don't know.
Or
When
was
did
it just
that-
like Mr. Bubble where you have to pour it in out of a?
Well, I
like, thing?
remember when you had to pour it in like dish soap, but I didn't know. Yeah,
I did too, but I'm just saying, like, it seems like more
Bath
recently now
bombs.
it's like you drop it in and it goes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with
I
those.
think it would have been. I don't know actually if it would have been better or worse for Drew if if they found a bunch of Lush bath bombs.
Yeah, what would you rather find? If you find out I'm a bath guy,
I think the bath bombs.
you think a bath
I think
bomb?
so because it's I don't know. It's
I get it.
cool.
It's kind of like the Tide Pod of bubble bath.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a
So,
big Tide Pod proponent.
It's
as
just
you
a
know.
very easy drop it in.
Yeah, and it
yeah.
kind of does its thing. You can
I
get them
feel
in
like
fun colors.
But like with the bubble bath soap, you have to like get the right amount, or else you overdo the bubble
then
bath.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but then that's
So.
fun. You can make little bubble bath beards, pretend you're Santa. That's all. Maybe we should get we should do some baths.
We got the bath.
Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I wasn't.
No.
I would never. Respectfully. No.
I just don't think we could fit. That's my only problem.
That's also probably true. It's a small Manhattan apartment. I don't think we're gonna have a.
we're
bubble
two big
bath.
fellas.
Yeah, two big boys in the. I think we found the episode title.
Rub a dub dub.
So yeah, they're going through and they're just trying to figure out, how to keep Drew safe. When we hear a knock at the door, everybody's convinced it's Earl, and then Drew says it's the pizza man. It's neither of them. It is Chuck, the security guard.
Chuck.
Kate has given Chuck a warning that, this guy's out to get Drew. So Chuck, off hours, has come over and is ready to assist Drew however he needs it.
What an amazing building security, man.
The above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Right.
Truly.
I know you work with, I have security people in my office. You have them here.
I couldn't imagine them.
No way they're showing up to my house.
No, probably not.
We'll call the police.
Yeah. I'll call. I don't even think I'm going to call the police.
Yeah, maybe not that either.
But Chuck is ready and willing. He's going to install tripwires. He's going to close drapes. He's going to set traps. He's like all ready to catch this guy. And then Drew is just like, enough. You people are crazy. Everybody get out. Everybody leave. Leave me be. It's going to be fine. I can't live my life in danger of this man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move,
No.
So
It's a parent's house.
It's his parents' house.
Too many memes.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody leaves, and then Drew goes to take out the trash, and he's making fun. He's like, "Oh, if you're there, Earl, I got me and I got my Tiger Foamy."
I gotta be honest. This struck something in some nostalgia within me.
The tiger.
When I used to get scared as a kid, I would yell into we used to play kick the can,
sure,
and all these games in the woods, growing up. And when I was scared, I would walk into these dark places or wooded areas, and I'd be like, "Yeah, oh, I see you. I know you're out there. Oh, very funny behind that tree. I get it. I'm sick of you hiding behind that tree." I didn't know, but it was just the way I deflected. Even whenever the last time I went to a haunted house, which would have been a couple years ago. The way I handle it is going turning corners. I'm just already screaming. I just go through and I'm turning the corner. That way I know, I'm probably scaring them.
You
if anything.
pre-scare yourself.
Yeah, but I'm already scared.
You're kind of earling it, if you will.
Yeah,
you're being the nutso guy that's just screaming.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I understand Drew, who's probably scared at this moment, to walk out alone being like, "Oh, I know you're out there. Yep. I got a dog."
And lo and behold, Earl actually is out in the back. Yeah. Comes around when he's taking out the trash. He's wearing that thing, that stupid trench coat. And he just goes to tell Drew, "Listen, I didn't want to do this in front of everybody because I do think I need help. And I think you're right. And I would like if you could get me the name and the number of that company shrink. I think I'd be willing to try to get this fixed." And Drew thinks, "Oh my God, I was so worried, and here you are, and yeah, I'd be happy to do that to you." It turns around, Earl pulls a gun, but then Drew turns back around to continue talking to him. I thought that was a fun physical gag.
It was funny.
He's
the
fumbling
back
with the gun.
He's fumbling. He can't load it. Which God, if you're gonna, here's a tip. If you're disgruntled and you're gonna go murder
your boss,
the person who is in charge of personnel, load the gun and take the safety off before
you go into the backyard.
You go into the backyard.
Yeah, I think he should have had his shit together. I do agree with that, especially because he really did, again, just to commit on the costume. He's committing to the bit, but he clearly did not think through that.
But he and he drops it on the ground. And while Drew keeps turning around and this and that. So finally Drew gets into the house.
And then Earl finally loads the gun.
Control of the gun. He loads it. And then who is it? Chuck.
It's Chuck. Fucking Chuck.
From out of nowhere, Chuck comes, picks up a pool stick, and presumably tries to pretend it's a gun and shoves it right in Earl's back.
Yeah.
And says, "Drop the gun."
Yeah.
And then he gets
Earl drops it and he throws him over the pool table.
Yeah.
I love his explanation he's like, "Drew, if I hadn't come back here to get my beeper."
Yeah.
"Buddy, I didn't even see your beeper when you came in." I thought,
why are you taking your beeper off?
Yeah. Also, that's some shit you keep on your belt, I feel. Why would he even not have it? I'm confused by that.
Making himself at home. He was only in the house for 5 minutes.
Couldn't have been more than that. Yeah. I don't know where the hell he lost it. Anyway, so they decide to call the police, or that's the end we see.
And that's the end of Earl.
That's the end of Earl.
So we know.
That'd be crazy if he came back.
And then credit scene. Now this was really funny.
This is pretty good.
Drew back at the office, and he's finishing a handwritten letter, it seems. And
Well, Mimi, first of all, dressed in a trench coat with a rubber knife,
fucking
pretends
with
to
him.
stab him, fucking
Yes.
with him, and then she goes, "Have a good night, have a good weekend." She
Right.
leaves, and then we get Drew writing a letter to Mimi in the voice of Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your letter. I did the very last line was pretty good. Where he was like, "Thank you for the photo. I found Waldo." That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good tag on
Yeah.
the whole thing.
That's episode 13.
Yeah, I'm just like, I felt like I knew where it was going. Like he literally does say, like he's clearly like disgruntled when he fires him, and he's like, "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
And then he stalks him, and then he tries to kill him. So and like the ending was a little funny, but like I just felt like it didn't really like
It wasn't earned.
it just was kind of exactly where you saw it go, and that
Sure.
was my only problem with it. But I did think like
do you
Cross
wish they
was
killed
good.
Drew Carey? Like, what do you think? Like, what
I
could
don't
have
know.
been done to
It could
improve it?
if it just like it was a total misread, misdirection on
On the character.
or misread on the situation.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what or how, but these guys are coming up with all these goofy titles. I'm sure they could have thought of something. I just felt like, all right, yeah. So he's gonna
try to kill him.
and Drew handles it very well.
Yeah,
I think I guess that was kind of funny. Drew just like, Drew just like hands on his hip, shaking his head.
Earl, how'd you try to shoot me, Earl? Yeah.
Earl, you got some splaining to do.
Episode 14, then we go to Drew and Mr. Bell's nephew. A pretty uncreative title.
Yeah.
I gotta concede. Not great. But
Not
you
a
liked
creative
this one
title.
more.
I liked this one mostly because, as we'll get into it, it's a Drew Mimi episode, and
Yeah.
it's the most Drew Mimi one-on-one we've got.
Sure, I would agree with
And
that.
they play off each other
Oh, so well.
perfectly. As far as the actual storyline, it's fine, but
Yeah.
like the actual like one-on-one scenes,
The
I'm like, that's
dynamic
funny.
between those two
Yeah.
you like. Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that, I'd say. So it starts with cold open. We're at the Warsaw. Drew and Oswald are both debating asking out this one bartender.
Which this threw me too.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's just like in a weird open thing. Like,
Yeah.
isn't Drew
Oh, we're
dating
forget-
Lisa?
Well, no, there can't be dating, right? Because if they date,
yeah, but like they
they're
ostensibly are.
ostensibly dating. Yeah.
Yeah.
But are they exclusive? We haven't.
I
We
guess
haven't
we
heard.
haven't gotten there
haven't
yet.
Heard.
But like, also Drew's not like the fuck around kind of guy. So it was just a weird.
I don't
thing.
think Drew's the fuck kind of guy.
No.
I think that's the problem.
Right.
Yeah. So they're both trying to ask out this lady bartender, and then finally Drew gets the courage and sits her down and goes, "Listen, me and my buddy both want to ask you out, but we don't know which one you'd say yes to." And the girl basically goes, "I'd like Oswald if I'm going off of my type and physical looks, but I like Drew because he seems stable and he tips very well."
Yeah.
Which we find out 12.5% is his tip rate.
Yeah.
That has been adjusted for inflation in the modern era.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what.
absolutely has.
Holy shit. I
Now
wish it was a
we
12.5%
overtip as a
tip.
culture.
Well, yeah, but we also do that in America just generally versus our European counterparts.
Right. No, I get it, but it's a little much. Whenever you're going to pick up food or things yourself at a counter.
Yeah.
Why am I being asked to tip 20%? Come on, guys.
No.
I'm doing the legwork here.
Right.
I'm
For sure.
What am I tipping the chef? No, the chef makes a wage.
The chef makes a good wage probably too.
Yeah.
To help. Yeah.
I get tipping a waitress. They don't make
Yeah.
all that much.
Right.
But
Bartender
anyway,
though.
who would you pick?
Out of those two?
Oswald Drew.
Ooh.
You're a sexy waitress.
Ooh.
Who are you going to pick?
Probably Oswald. Just he gives me a little more freak energy than Drew.
He is a freak.
He's a little freaky.
Yeah.
Super freak.
I feel like Oswald's going to do some nasty shit.
Yeah. I think Oswald likes feet. I can't explain why, and I
Big
want to
time.
elaborate, but he definitely seems like a foot guy.
One from a yes.
Not that
from
I'm saying,
deep.
not that I'm saying a
Bang.
Cleveland bartending like waitress would be into that,
Yeah.
but probably.
Yeah.
it's the
why
90s.
not? I mean, look, there's not. It's.
The economy's good. It's the 90s. Yeah, go ahead. Let's do some feet
Let's do
stuff.
feet stuff with the weird guy at the bar. Rather than the guy that tips 12%.
And you? Would you go with the stable man? You seem like somebody who would care about stability and tipping well.
I mean, I guess it depends what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for my life partner, yeah. But I do kind of like the wild card energy Oswald's given me.
Oswald, that is a great wild card energy. Is a
Yeah,
great way to
yeah.
describe him.
He's very unpredictable. It's kind of fun.
It's pretty good.
So I think
She ultimately decides neither, but she does present the option of, well, if I don't want to pick between you, I guess I could go out with both of you and then decide. And the boys stand up against us and say, we will not be pitted against each other.
to quote Drew, "Homo don't play that."
And then he's told that's incorrect.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of bros before hoes energy.
Yeah, I
would say, from
respect
these
that.
guys. Yeah, and then they both
They
realize
spend enough time together. It should be that.
Yeah,
That'd be
they both
outrageous.
realize though the implication was she would have dated both of them. So then they get up and run over to her, and that's the end of the cold. I thought
They
that
blew
was-
it.
Yeah, they blew it. What else is new? Then we launch into this episode. We're at the office again, and
Of course.
Drew gets a call from Mr. Bell.
Mr. Bell.
Yeah,
And guess what? What was the title of the episode again?
Drew and Mr. Bell's nephew.
I wonder what's about to happen. So, Mr.
You want to talk about two episodes that kind of like lay out exactly what it's going to be?
Fair, yeah. Now that as we recap this, I'm like, okay, yeah, this was pretty predictable too. So it turns out that the boss's nephew, Mr. Bell's nephew, Blaine, just graduated
From Kent State.
from Kent State. Shout out Golden Flashes.
Is that true? Did you look that up?
No,
Or
I
did you
just
know
knew that. I got a
didn't
buddy
know
that went to Kent State.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Shout out Lucas.
There you go.
Who
Shout
I
out Lucas.
actually lives in Cleveland now.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
So look him up, guys.
Yeah. if you want any Kent State grads.
Kent State alum that lives in Cleveland named Lucas. There you go.
There's got to be at least 5. So he calls to basically be like, hey, my nephew came in. My nephew's going to be coming in. He's going to take over your job.
Yeah.
Or I'd like him to, at least.
Yeah,
He's kind of a fuck up, he explains. And, we're not really sure how he fits in with the Bell family, but we'd like to give him this job, but you need to train him.
Obviously, Drew's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, but then he's like, you're going to get a promotion if you do this.
Yeah.
So now Drew has incentive here. In comes Blaine pretty immediately after that call. And
Pretty young, handsome
he's like
type.
a young
He's 21, I think
yeah,
he says.
Exact. Kate has a crush on him.
Almost instantly. Which, again, we've just established exclusivity, so.
Yeah, what the
She
fuck?
better chill.
Everyone's just everyone's horny.
It's the
They're
horniest
really
place
the
on earth.
Horniest place on earth.
Cleveland, Ohio, the horniest place
That
on
would
earth.
be a great T-shirt. They would sell so many T-shirts.
Virginia is for lovers. Cleveland is for horny
sex
freaks.
pests.
Cleveland is for sex pests. I like that.
So yeah. Anyway, Blaine sits down with Drew there, and Drew kind of explains the situation. And there is one point where, like, Blaine at the end of it, who doesn't seem thrilled about it.
No.
For one, he's definitely, you can tell that kind of like post grad. I don't really want to do anything.
Lazy, sort of nepo baby sort of energy.
Yeah. Anyway, he's sitting across from Drew, and he's like, "You mean I can be assistant director of personnel right out of college?" He's like, "Yeah," and he was like, "How long did that take you to get there?" And as we know, as we've established, Drew has been here for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Which we also found out is
How long it took him to
How
graduate
long it took him
college?
to graduate.
Just about. Damn.
graduate.
Blaine hasn't learned much in business school. He says the two things he learned were basically how to cheat at golf and sucking up to people.
Yeah.
So doesn't sound like it's gonna go great. And then we see him on the floor the next day with Drew, and yeah, it's about exactly what you'd think. The kid's got no work ethic.
Well, before that, we have to establish that him and Mimi are not getting along
well,
either.
that's true. Well, it's Mimi. Essentially, is his servant.
Yes.
When Mr. Bell, because she's Mr. Bell's
Mr. Bell's
assistant.
secretary.
But it takes on like another level with Blaine, where like she's filling up the gas in his car, and
she's
like,
getting him
making
tea,
and
hold on. There's a moment where Blaine's like, "Ew, it tastes like someone spit in his tea," and Drew's like, "Just spit? That
Yeah.
means she likes you."
So yeah, she's not thrilled with it. And also, he's kind of, and I never thought I would say this because Mimi's kind of, not a great person, but he's pretty dismissive to Mimi with things.
Yeah, you
He's,
kind of
like,
feel for Mimi
demanding,
here,
and you're like, oh damn, this kid's really working you. That's not nice.
yeah.
So yeah, but then down on the floor, it's just a mess. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to really interact with people.
It boils down to Drew has one quote where he's just like the work ethic in this country is gone.
Yeah.
because he's talking about how the youth they don't want to earn it. They don't want to work.
I like how the one thing that I wouldn't even say is really just about work ethic. I think the kid's just a bit of a dick. Like,
Yeah,
he likes.
well, I mean,
he hits all the buttons on the elevator
That's
when they
kind
get
of funny.
off.
That's just like a 21-year-old.
Yeah, that's a dumb little prank thing. It's
Yeah.
just kind of wild. Yeah. So then we get what is the big crux of this? I would say the boiling point for Drew and Blaine's tenuous relationship, which is Kate. Is talking about how she embodies the working ethic of America so much so she just sold something that's never been sold before. So there are these like giant display cases or giant bottle displays
Right.
of perfume
Yeah.
that she thought was just colored water to look like perfume. So somebody, I guess, had
Not only a few people in the office thought that it was colored water.
yeah, it's a running
Yeah.
gag. I guess somebody was interested in buying it, so then she goes, "Okay, I'll sell it to you for $150." She's like, "What a bargain! We just sold some colored water to people." She doesn't realize it's actually thousands of dollars worth of perfume.
Which, did she not smell it?
I don't know.
Also, did the person who bought it not smell it?
Right.
There's a lot of questions. Won't get into it.
You know what? Because the show skates right by it,
Yeah.
so I feel like we can skate right by it as well. Basically, Drew realizes that Kate's in deep shit. Kate, owes the company thousands of dollars now.
So Drew sets up a plan to go ahead and cover for Kate. He's
Right.
basically just
she'll take a little bit of her
she'll take
paycheck
a little bit
every
out of
week,
her paycheck and pay back the register every week.
and nobody's gonna
And
know.
nobody's gonna know. And since he is training Belle's nephew, tells Blaine this.
Yes.
And basically fesses up to covering for his friend Kate.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, cut to the next scene, and we come to find out that Blaine,
Via Mimi, we find out
that
Blaine
Blaine
spilled the beans on Belle, basically.
Yes.
Or to Belle. About
to
this whole
Belle
situation.
about Drew covering up.
He
for Kay.
describes Drew as hiding a thief.
Yes.
It's no good, and he's just trying to really get him fired so that he can just have his job quicker.
And not
without
only
the
that,
training.
he's trying to have Mimi fired because he just doesn't like Mimi. Look,
Right.
she's spitting in his tea. I get it. She's
Yeah.
not the most approachable person, and I think she made some remark about how she looks. I don't remember, but
Well, she described. He said, "I want you to fire that beautiful blonde outside your door."
Oh,
And she
yeah,
said
yeah,
that
yeah.
might have not been exactly what he said.
So anyway, Mimi's brilliant idea here is to team up.
Yeah. Well, Drew pitches it. It's a tough
Drew-
sell to Mimi.
Drew
Mimi doesn't want to work with Drew, if I
Oh.
remember correctly. But Drew's like, "Listen, it's like Superman and Kryptonite have to come together."
Yeah, Luther.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
Lex Luthor, and,
Lex
and
Luthor
Superman.
and Superman have to come together. In order to
Kryptonite
save
is an
the day.
object.
I know. Well, I don't. I thought I remember him saying Kryptonite.
Please get the Superman fictionalized universe correct.
Well, tell me you like Seinfeld. Don't tell me you like Seinfeld. But they basically have to team up if they're going to take down this kid together. So therefore, we get the first ever Drew Mimi tag team fuck 'em up. That's what I'm going to call it, I guess.
the Mimi Drew
Tag
team fuck 'em up.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy! And together they are 800 pounds of trouble.
There you go. That was a good line. I enjoyed that a lot. It's so Drew hosts Mimi at his place basically.
It's so weird. It's so out of context.
If we thought
to
seeing
see-
the gang at the department store was weird, and by the way, now we don't even bring it up. They're just
No,
all the
they're
time.
always in the office.
Jay's there now. Like these guys are just hanging out in the office of the department store.
Yeah,
But if we thought that was weird, this is like
Mimi
skin
and
crawl
Drew's house.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
She thinks she's worried he's going to try to like hit on her. He's
Yeah.
like, don't do anything with the lights. Don't
Yeah.
She obviously take her coat.
she's
she
like,
refuses.
I wouldn't even turn off the lights if we were in the Blitzkrieg.
If we were in London during the Blitz.
yeah, yeah. She's like, do you want anything to eat? And he's only like, it's like beer nuts, beer cheese, beer. And then he's like, Ben and Jerry's in the freezer, and she's like, a chunky monkey.
I love
She's
Chunky
like,
Monkey.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite flavor. I gotta appreciate Drew's game here. He has the pints.
Yeah.
He has the two separate pints, and then he has chocolate sauce
Yeah.
that he douses over.
But do
his
you
ice
notice
cream.
what he did specifically? He carved out a little hole in the middle and
Yeah.
then poured all the
And he
chocolate
poured
sauce
all
in.
the chocolate.
Primo move.
That's-
Primo move from Mr.
We need to have chocolate sauce in the house.
I think we should. Actually, I think that'd be a very bad idea. For
We'll
both.
burn. Yeah, it
Yeah,
won't
we're
last very
gonna
long.
chug that shit
But yeah, and they really this is part of the episode that I really started to enjoy was the banter between them because it's tit for tat for them consistently.
Yeah, they can both hang with the best of each other.
Yeah, and it's just jab after jab after jab. I honestly couldn't keep up. I had to quit taking notes. But this is the part of the episode I really liked was just the dynamic.
Yeah.
Between these two and really getting to see them.
The Carey Bobeck sort of.
Yeah, because you know that it's going to be there till the very end.
Yeah.
They are the two stars by the end of this.
Absolutely. So we get a couple plans from Mimi. One involves poisoning him slowly over time. The other one involves a dead hooker without any real specifics.
Yeah.
But then I think we do settle on a handful of plans that they all try to execute in the office the next day. It involves our group of
the
four.
gang who was just let into the fucking office again.
Yeah. So not Ryan, Jesus Christ. I'm doing what you do now. Lewis comes in.
Yeah.
And he is pretending to interview for a job. And this is where Drew goes, hey, well, listen, Blaine, if you really want, you can kind of take over my job, see how you think it does. So he interviews Lewis. Lewis goes, I have a lot of felonies I would need you to overlook, but I think my friend Benjamin could help. Pulls out a $1 bill. Don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought it was
That's
gonna be
all he
Benjamin
had.
Franklin. Yeah.
But either way, trying to bribe him to get a job,
And
see if he
then-
could set him up.
Blaine is smart and goes, no, there's a security camera right there. Otherwise, I would think about it. And then
Yeah.
Ryan basically leaves.
Ryan exits stage left.
Kate comes in. Kate comes in and offers him a good time in the fax room, right? The copy room.
It's a Xerox room.
Yeah. And
So that might just be a synonym across the board.
All
One
of
of those three things.
he basically just goes, I'm smarter than that. I know Drew's got a camera somewhere or whatever. The gig is basically up.
Yeah.
He realizes.
And Drew wants me to lose my job, and then he says Drew, and then Drew comes in, and Drew and Mimi both actually come in.
Yeah.
He calls them both out.
And then we get the third one that wasn't got to be, which is Oswald in a weird outfit offering to sell drugs.
in
Just
the
appears
store.
from behind the thing. Goes, you want to buy drugs?
Yeah.
Beautiful. But no, then all the plans have failed, it seems. Because, as Blaine says, why would I need to work hard when I've already got my uncle's number?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Drew's
Drew
like, I have that number too.
gives it a dial, and he thinks, oh, well, he's just going to go ahead and plead his case to him, but it won't work.
I don't know what this was such an aggressive plan, like D, I suppose.
Yeah.
From Drew that I'm like, this should have just been it.
To the point where, and I don't know if I didn't get it. I don't know when you got it.
We
had to
watched it.
rewatch this 3 times to make sure we understood what was happening. Do you want to explain?
I mean, he basically blackmails Bell, no? Because
He does.
he's like, remember he was having
yeah.
an
He was
affair
sleeping
with
around with
that
some of the other women. He
person
tried
in
to sleep around with
swimwear.
Kate. Yeah.
And anyway, he calls up Mr. Bell and he's like, hey, Susie from swimwear was saying she left your retainer, her retainer in your car.
Mm-hmm. And
he's
then
like-
I said,
no, I can't
fire Mr. Bell's nephew.
Bell's nephew. And then Mr. Bell's like, I understand you loud and clear.
Yep, go ahead.
Carey, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And then he
cancels.
fires Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a weird
Loses
little
it right there.
aggressive move. I also
then his nephew's just like, they didn't teach me that in business school.
Yeah.
So he just accepts
I
it.
just didn't think that was going to work. I thought it was I thought we were all aware that Mr. Bell was sleeping around with people that work under him.
I was just surprised how much he just gave it up.
Yeah.
How Mr. Bell and Blaine, how they were just like, fuck it. Yeah, no, don't hire him.
Nope, that's fine. This kid's he'll be fine somewhere else.
Yeah.
Kent State.
That Kent State degree will get you a job
It'll
anywhere.
get you anywhere.
Anywhere you want in Ohio.
Anywhere you want in Cleveland.
In northern Ohio.
All Blaine's got to do is call Lucas.
From Cleveland to Toledo,
Mm-hmm.
you got a job.
So yeah, like you're saying, we did kind of get a little bit of Mimi Drew coming together, building a bridge.
I liked that.
Yeah,
I
but
thought that was
So
fun.
does Mimi, and Mimi at the end of this is like, "Hey, listen, I think we're kind of getting closer here. I just wanted to let you know I do want to work in cosmetics." And Drew goes, "Nah, it's not gonna
Nope.
happen." So I guess whatever sort of good faith efforts that they had built together, it did not rub off on Drew enough to
Yeah.
actually give her a cosmetics job. She gets angry at him again and says, "You're gonna find a dead hooker in your bed." And then Drew goes, "You're not gonna be sleeping over me."
Yeah, that's good.
This credit scene was pretty whack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I guess back to Lisa and Drew's relationship. Drew goes downstairs, and Lisa basically Drew. They're gonna stay until the store shuts down. They're the only people, and they're gonna fuck in the store.
Yeah.
Of course, they assume that they're the only two people there, and before anything happens, and they're just flirting, Chuck comes out from the
Good old Chuck
from the wing, and he's like, "You guys better get out of here," and he, but don't want to be the last two in the
It's
store
getting too late. It's going to lock up soon.
because Satan and his friends will be in here shortly.
We learned that Satan and his friends are a pack of guard dogs that the mall employs after hours to
Just
keep
to
theft away.
sniff, yeah, to sniff the whole store.
Yeah, to keep
just
people
unaccompanied too is what we find out, because then they head for they don't take it
laugh
seriously.
It off. Yeah.
And then they head to the elevator to go have sex in the conference room upstairs, and the elevator door opens. There's 3 dogs just alone, and they
just chase them away, and that's the end of it. What kind of mall? What kind of department store has has wild dogs? Not wild dogs, but loose dogs.
Yeah.
Just as security. I don't even think cops do that. I think cops have to be with the canine.
Yeah, you got to keep it on like a leash or something.
That's nuts. What if they just ripped up the clothes?
Yeah, or they just like piss and shit everywhere.
Yeah, that would also be true. You can't just have the dogs piss and shit everywhere.
No.
This is Cleveland we're talking about.
Yeah. We got higher standards. You can't just have piss and shit on the store floors. What is this, New York?
Yeah, come on. Ow! Yeah, no, I think overall, you know what? You can tell we're in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to plateau a little bit. I'm hoping we can land the ending when we get to the end of the season. But yeah, it's it's a little middling these.
How many more eps we got?
So this is 14. The total's 22. So what's the math on that? 8.
Yeah.
8 more. No, so that's 4 more episodes, and then we're out of season 1. So 4 more episodes of this podcast, and then we're out of season 1 because we do 2 of that.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Look at us. We're chugging along, and we hope you are too if you're watching along with us.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're
I
watching.
don't know how. I'm sure it's legal.
Yeah, I'm sure whatever you're doing is absolutely legal and not just.
Frank, you probably bought it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? You can buy season 1.
You can buy season 1 on Amazon. Yeah, if you're gonna follow along with the rest of us, I mean, I don't even know how we're doing it technically, but I'm sure it's legal.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, we
stay afloat. Anyway, yeah, I think that wraps up this.
All right, kids.
Thanks as always for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Later.
Bye-bye.